Welcome back to BMB Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the complex emotional dynamics unfolding in the aftermath of a shocking incident involving Liam Spencer and how it affects his family relationships. The devastating possibility of loss. The most heart-wrenching scenario looms on the horizon. Steffi might face the unbearable task of informing little Kelly that her beloved father, Liam Spencer, has passed away. This devastating possibility hangs in the air like a dark cloud, threatening to forever alter the lives of everyone connected to Liam. The emotional weight of such news would be immeasurable, especially for a child eagerly awaiting her father's arrival. The psychological impact of losing a parent at such a tender age could potentially create lasting trauma for Kelly, something that both Steffi and Finn should be preparing to address with professional guidance and unwavering support. Should the worst come to pass, the ripple effects would extend far beyond the immediate family, affecting the entire Forrester and Spencer dynasties. Bill Spencer would lose his son, Hope would lose her husband, and the fashion empire would lose one of its most passionate advocates. The power dynamics within both families would shift dramatically, potentially leading to unexpected alliances and renewed conflicts as everyone processes their grief differently. Finn's growing concern. Dr. John Finn Finnegan finds himself in an increasingly uncomfortable position as minutes turn to hours with no sign of Liam. His medical intuition tells him something is seriously wrong, yet he remains in the dark about the true situation. As Kelly's anxiety escalates, Finn's worry transforms from mild concern to genuine alarm. He observes his stepdaughter's disappointment growing with each passing moment, her excited anticipation gradually morphing into confusion and sadness. Finn's position is particularly delicate. He wants to comfort Kelly without overstepping boundaries, aware that his role as stepfather requires a careful balance. He's tried calling Liam multiple times, each unanswered call heightening his suspicion that something unusual has occurred. The seasoned doctor has begun mentally reviewing possible scenarios: a car accident, a medical emergency, drawing on his professional experience while trying to maintain a calm demeanor for Kelly's sake. The strain this puts on Finn's relationship with Steffi cannot be understated. Her absence and lack of communication leave him feeling isolated in handling an increasingly difficult situation with Kelly. This incident could potentially create a significant rift in their marriage, testing the foundation of trust they've worked so hard to build. Kelly's mounting anxiety. Young Kelly Spencer's excitement has gradually transformed into worry as the hours pass without any sign of her father. Initially bouncing with anticipation, she's now repeatedly asking when Daddy will arrive, checking the window every few minutes, and suggesting they call him just to make sure he remembers. Her innocent trust that her father would never intentionally disappoint her makes the situation all the more heartbreaking. Kelly's relationship with Liam has always been special, their weekend outings, bedtime stories, and inside jokes creating a bond that transcends the complicated adult relationships around them. Liam has been meticulous about maintaining consistency in Kelly's life despite the tumultuous history with Steffi, making his unexplained absence all the more concerning and out of character. The psychological impact on Kelly shouldn't be underestimated. Children often internalize such disappointments, potentially wondering if they did something wrong or if they're not important enough for their parent to keep promises. Without proper explanation and reassurance, this incident could affect Kelly's sense of security and trust, particularly in her relationship with her father. Steffi's misplaced priorities. Steffi Forrester's behavior reveals a troubling pattern of prioritizing her emotional connection to Liam over other critical responsibilities. While understandably shocked at finding Liam unconscious in Bill's driveway, her failure to contact Finn or address Kelly's mounting anxiety demonstrates a concerning tunnel vision. This single-minded focus on Liam, to the exclusion of her daughter's emotional needs and her husband's right to know what's happening, suggests unresolved feelings that transcend mere friendship. Her history with Liam is marked by passionate reconciliations and dramatic separations, creating a complex emotional landscape that she's never fully navigated away from. Despite her marriage to Finn, Steffy's actions in moments of crisis consistently reveal where her deepest attachments lie. Her possessive behavior regarding Liam's romantic interests, particularly her interference with his reconnection with Ivy Forrester, demonstrates a persistent inability to truly let go. The psychological underpinnings of Steffy's behavior merit deeper examination. Her identity has been so intertwined with her relationship to Liam that even years later, she struggles to define boundaries appropriate for co-parents who have moved on to new relationships. This crisis situation has stripped away the carefully maintained veneer of just friends, revealing emotional patterns that Steffi herself may not fully recognize or acknowledge. The media threat. The potential for this incident to become public knowledge presents another layer of complication that Steffi seems oblivious to in her current state of shock. As members of prominent families in the fashion industry, both the Forresters and Spencers live under constant media scrutiny. An incident involving Bill Spencer's son being found unconscious would inevitably attract attention, potentially creating a media firestorm that would affect everyone involved, including innocent Kelly. Professional crisis management would dictate immediate notification of family members before they hear the news from external sources. The psychological impact of learning about a loved one's medical emergency through social media or news reports can be significantly more traumatic than hearing it from family, no matter how difficult the news. Steffi's failure to consider this dimension demonstrates how completely the shock has compromised her usually sharp business instincts. The media attention could also have implications for Forrester Creations and Spencer publications, potentially affecting stock prices and public perception. These practical considerations might seem secondary to the immediate medical crisis, but they represent real consequences that will need to be addressed. Liam's medical crisis. While Steffi remains frozen at Liam's side, medical professionals work frantically to determine what caused his collapse and how to treat it. The circumstances of finding him unconscious in Bill's driveway raise numerous questions. Was it a medical condition like a sudden aneurysm or heart arrhythmia? Could it be the result of foul play? Or perhaps an accidental overdose or exposure to something toxic? Each possibility carries different implications for his recovery prospects and the long-term impact on his health. The medical team's urgent efforts contrast sharply with Steffi's paralyzed response to the crisis. While doctors follow clear protocols for emergency situations, Steffi seems unable to activate similar crisis management procedures for the emotional fallout affecting her family. This disconnect highlights how even the most competent individuals can become functionally impaired when confronted with trauma involving someone they deeply care about. Liam's medical outcome remains uncertain, hanging in the balance as specialists are consulted and tests are run. This uncertainty compounds the difficulty of the situation, as Steffi cannot even provide clear information about his condition to those who deserve to know. The path forward. As this crisis unfolds, several critical steps must be taken to mitigate the emotional damage to all involved. First and foremost, Steffi needs to break through her shock and contact Finn immediately, allowing him to appropriately support Kelly through this difficult time. Age-appropriate honesty about Liam's condition would help Kelly process the situation without unnecessary additional trauma from being kept in the dark. The incident also creates an opportunity for Steffi to recognize and address her unresolved feelings for Liam, potentially strengthening her marriage to Finn if handled with honesty and commitment to growth. Family therapy might prove beneficial for all involved, helping Kelly process her father's medical crisis while also providing a structured environment for the adults to navigate their complex emotional entanglements. Whatever Liam's medical outcome, this crisis has exposed fault lines in relationships that appeared stable, revealing work that remains to be done if these blended families are to thrive rather than merely survive. The true test of character will be how each person responds in the aftermath of the immediate crisis, when difficult conversations and personal reckonings can no longer be avoided. Next, we will learn about the shocking developments surrounding Luna Nozawa and the Spencer family that have left fans utterly bewildered and speculating about dark motives behind recent events. The potential grandchild scheme, Bill's secret endgame? The intricate web of Luna's machinations may ultimately lead to a situation where Bill Spencer finds himself permanently connected to her through family ties, despite her not being his biological daughter. Industry insiders suggest that should Luna's diabolical pregnancy plot succeed with Will, Bill would find himself in the peculiar position of being grandfather to Luna's child, a connection that cannot be severed regardless of her criminal history or manipulative nature. This permanent familial bond might be precisely what Luna is counting on to secure her position within the Spencer dynasty. Psychological experts familiar with the show's dynamics have noted that Bill's obsession with having a daughter figure in his life borders on pathological. His disappointment at discovering Luna wasn't his biological child created a vulnerability that Luna, with her Sheila-inherited cunning, recognized and is now exploiting masterfully. The prospect of a granddaughter specifically would fulfill Bill's long-standing desire for a female descendant to dote upon and potentially groom as his business heir. Fashion industry analysts who follow the show closely point out that Bill's behavior reflects a disturbing pattern of powerful men in the fashion world who use their influence to protect and elevate women they're fascinated by, regardless of ethical considerations. This parallel to real-world power dynamics adds a troubling dimension to Bill's inexplicable support of Luna despite her criminal actions. While most of the Spencer clan would react with justified horror to Luna becoming part of their family through Will, Bill's reaction would likely stand in stark contrast, his delight barely concealed behind a veneer of grandfatherly concern. Sources close to the production hint that Bill might even secretly facilitate Luna's scheme, providing financial support and using his considerable influence to shield her from consequences, all while maintaining plausible deniability about his involvement. The potential fallout from such a development would reverberate through Los Angeles's elite circles, with the Spencer name once again tarnished by association with criminal elements. Yet Bill, in his single-minded pursuit of having Luna permanently in his orbit, appears willing to sacrifice his family's reputation and his son's happiness for this twisted surrogate father-daughter relationship. Family reactions: shock, disgust, and concern. Should Luna's pregnancy scheme come to fruition, the ripple effects throughout the Spencer family would be catastrophic and far-reaching. Liam Spencer, already suspicious of Luna's intentions and disgusted by her criminal past, would likely experience a profound sense of betrayal not just by Luna but by his own brother and father. Inside sources reveal that upcoming episodes may feature explosive confrontations between Liam and Will, with Liam potentially threatening to cut ties with the family entirely if they continue embracing Luna despite her murderous history. Katie Logan's maternal instincts would trigger significant anxiety about genetic predispositions toward violence and manipulation. Psychological consultants for the show suggest that Katie might even consult with medical specialists about whether psychopathic tendencies could be inherited, a storyline that would explore the controversial nature versus nurture debate regarding criminal behavior. Her concern would extend beyond the immediate situation to long-term worries about how this child might affect her own son's future and safety. The extended Logan family would likely rally around Katie, creating deeper divisions between the Logans and Spencers than we've seen in years. Brooke Logan might find herself torn between supporting her sister and maintaining her complex relationships with the Spencer men, potentially reigniting old rivalries and resentments that have simmered beneath the surface. Will's relationship with his mother would face unprecedented strain as Katie struggles to support her son while simultaneously protecting him from Luna's influence. Psychological trauma experts suggest that Will might experience significant cognitive dissonance, trapped between his responsibility to his unborn child and the horrifying realization that he's been manipulated by a woman with murderous tendencies. Meanwhile, at Spencer Publications, business associates and board members would question Bill's judgment in continuing to associate with Luna, potentially leading to corporate governance challenges and threats of leadership changes. The business empire Bill built could face its most serious internal threat yet, not from external competitors but from his own questionable personal decisions. Luna's seduction strategy, the dangerous game. Luna's calculated approach to seducing Will represents a masterclass in manipulation that would make her grandmother Sheila proud. Entertainment analysts familiar with the show's production reveal that upcoming scenes will showcase Luna implementing a multifaceted strategy designed to exploit Will's vulnerabilities while simultaneously driving a wedge between him and Electra Forrester. After Electra's reluctance to advance their physical relationship, Luna identified a perfect opportunity to position herself as the more willing and available alternative. Behavioral psychologists note that Luna's timing is impeccable, approaching Will during a period of frustration and rejection when his emotional defenses are compromised. Her bold proposition, shocking as it was to Will initially, plants a seed that Luna will nurture through continued proximity and escalating suggestiveness. Sources close to the production hint that Luna may employ tactics ranging from accidentally encountering Will in various states of undress around the Spencer mansion to engineering situations where they're alone together during emotionally vulnerable moments. Her arsenal likely includes revealing outfits specifically designed to attract Will's attention, strategically timed physical contact that seems innocent but serves to establish comfort with her touch, and conversations deliberately steered toward intimate topics. The most disturbing element of Luna's strategy involves potential substance manipulation. Industry insiders suggest upcoming storylines may feature Luna tampering with Will's drinks, perhaps with drugs that lower inhibitions while maintaining consciousness, ensuring he remembers the encounter but has impaired judgment during it. This particularly dark turn would elevate Luna's villainy to new heights while raising important questions about consent that rarely get addressed in daytime television. Luna's ultimate goal transcends mere seduction. She's orchestrating a scenario where pregnancy is not just possible but likely. Costume department sources reveal subtle changes to Luna's wardrobe that suggest she's tracking her fertility cycle, choosing moments of peak fertility for her most aggressive advances toward Will. This calculated approach to conception demonstrates a level of premeditation that makes her scheme all the more sinister. For Luna, this isn't about love or even desire, it's about securing her position within the Spencer family permanently through the most binding connection possible, a child. The fact that this would simultaneously hurt Electra, whom Luna resents for her privileged Forrester heritage and genuine connection with Will, makes the plan even more satisfying to Luna's vindictive nature. Will's dilemma, responsibility versus revulsion. Will Spencer finds himself in an increasingly uncomfortable position as Luna's inappropriate advances continue to escalate. Sources close to the actor reveal that upcoming episodes will explore Will's internal conflict as he struggles to reconcile his instinctive physical response to Luna's seduction attempts with his moral repulsion toward her criminal history and manipulative behavior. Psychological consultants for the show explain that Will's character embodies the complex emotional landscape of a young man raised with abandonment issues stemming from Bill's inconsistent presence during his formative years. This background creates a perfect storm of vulnerability. Will's determination never to abandon his own child comes from deeply rooted emotional wounds that Luna intuitively understands and plans to exploit. Will's relationship with Electra represents everything healthy and positive in his life, a connection based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine affection that has developed naturally over time. In contrast, Luna offers something more primal and forbidden, a dangerous attraction that Will intellectually rejects but finds increasingly difficult to resist as Luna escalates her tactics. Fashion industry observers note subtle costume choices that reflect Will's internal struggle, his wardrobe gradually incorporating darker elements and less structured designs as Luna's influence grows, visually representing his moral confusion and weakening resolve. These subtle visual cues foreshadow potential character development that fans might miss on first viewing. Should Luna succeed in her pregnancy scheme, Will would face an impossible choice between his principles regarding parental responsibility and his revulsion toward Luna herself. Child development experts consulted by the show's writers suggest that Will might attempt to gain full custody of the child, creating a years-long storyline of legal battles and co-parenting conflicts that would keep Luna permanently connected to the Spencer family regardless of her relationship status with Will. The most tragic element of Will's situation is his isolation, unable to confide in family members about Luna's inappropriate advances for fear of creating additional family conflict, yet increasingly uncomfortable maintaining normal interactions with her in the Spencer mansion. This isolation makes him more vulnerable to Luna's manipulation, creating a dangerous cycle that becomes harder to break with each encounter.